What's up, YouTube? It's Eric, a Lions fan. Thanks for clicking on this video. So Nick Castellanos is in Chicago for the Cubs, and Shane Greene went to Atlanta to the Braves. My initial reaction is I'm kind of not surprised, although Boyd's not gone yet, and the day's not over yet. It's only, 7:30 here on the 31st of July. So still really anything can happen. I haven't seen anything come across ESPN for that Boyd got traded. But my initial reaction was that I'm not really surprised. And also, what's going to bring people to the ballpark to watch the Tigers? We all know that they're the worst team in baseball. And this just kind of, you got rid of your best hitter and probably the closer of your team. So who's going to be in those two roles? Cabrera's probably now your best hitter on the team, in which I really is not saying much because really all of his power is really, I don't want to say is gone, but he's not the player that he once was back in 6, 7, 8 years ago. Let's go ahead and put it that way. And I think we all know that he's not the same person that he was back then. He kind of still needs to focus on hits, I believe, and the rest of the team's got to kind of raise their game up. But and at the same time, I kind of feel like Chris Ilitch and Alavilla haven't really done the team justice this year. I know they're in rebuild mode. I know it takes quite a while to get the team to be back on its feet and to be competitive again. But at the same time, at some point you got to look at your returns. And I think we looked at a good return in Jake. I said in the last video I said Jake Roberts, but it's Jake Rogers. We got to bring those people up. And this time, Rogers has got to stay. He's got to stay right now. The Tigers have got to get a real good look at him to try to see if he's a person of the future, which a lot of people said he is. I kind of watched only 5 innings yesterday of him. He seems to know what he's doing out there. He seems to have all the characteristics of a good catcher along with his arm. He's got a very accurate arm and a good arm at that. And that's two kind of things you don't necessarily see much in baseball for a catcher. But it's those kind of people you got to kind of bring up, the young kids that are kind of give them an opportunity, see what they do, especially kind of right now. And that's, I don't really know what else to say other than that. I think the Tigers are in full tank mode right now. It's unfortunate for me to say because I'm a big Tigers fan, and along with a Lions fan. I'm a big Tigers and Lions fan, which I know I haven't done very much content for the Lions, but it's really, really hard for me to watch the Tigers. And even those 5 innings I watched yesterday were very, very hard to watch, especially Castro being the third baseman. All he had to do was turn around and catch the ball. It's things like that you have to teach these kids. And like I said, sometimes you have to give them tough love. Kind of get in their face a little bit. You don't necessarily have to do it on camera right in the dugout or anything, but you got to tell these kids we can't be doing that shit if we're going to end up winning baseball games. We got to play the fundamentals, play the fundamentals of baseball, play the right style of baseball, and then everything else is going to kind of come into place here. We may not be the best team in the league and win the World Series, but if we play fundamental baseball and we play good baseball and do the right things correctly, like you turn around and catch the ball instead of trying to make a basket catch running towards the outfield, it's those kind of things that are going to make you a better team and make your stock rise. Maybe if you're not happy there, maybe be able to get traded to somebody else, or if when the trade deadline comes, you're going somewhere else. It's those kind of things that make a good team, or even an average team, a bad team to an average team to a good team. Those kind of things. The good players do good fundamental baseball, and you got the bad teams just kind of look at it as, I'm just kind of not really giving a shit about my playing, and I'm just going to kind of just play crappy baseball. And that's kind of what I'm seeing really with the Tigers. Not really a whole lot going on. Not really a lot of pride going into their play. And you're probably going to see this going on through the rest of the year. I'm sure Castellanos is tickled to death that he's going to Chicago to play for the Cubs, because the Cubs are somewhat of a good team, one of the better teams in the National League. At least I think they are. I haven't necessarily looked at the standings in a while. And the Braves, they've upgraded pretty good based on kind of what I've heard from everybody. They've got a couple of good relief pitchers now, including Greene. So that team is probably going to start to turn it around. You're going to kind of see them probably in the hunt for the playoffs, maybe not this year, but next year and in the sequential years to come on. But the Tigers right now, they're in full tank mode. Like I said before, I don't know what the plan is for this team. I know Alavillas kind of came out and said things take time, but really, when he said things take time, he really never had a plan for the Tigers. And we don't need to know every detail of the plan. We just need a high level of the plan. Are we looking to maybe offload some more players before we do that? If he would have said that, he would have said, look, we're not right now going to be a contender for a couple of years. That would have been fine with me. I would have been perfectly content with that. But to say that things take time and then not tell us what the plan is at the high level, we don't know what we're doing. And why should fans and myself and anybody else out here on YouTube who watches the Tigers put in the time and effort to watch any of the games other than to watch? Well, I kind of wonder what kind of how they're going to lose today. Are they going to lose by pitching? Are they going to lose by defense? Are the bats not going to come to life? Which pretty much is what you're seeing with the Tigers. Pitching is kind of suspect right now. You don't know if you're going to get good pitching or bad pitching right now. The offense just has been not produced all season, except for Castellanos, who is now a Cub, and Cabrera. Pretty much anybody else, their bats have been pretty silent. They really haven't made much noise, really. And to get a team, and I will say this, I didn't say this last night. Last night when, I can't remember who it was, I don't think it was Jacoby Jones, but someone laid down a bunt. And then they kind of ended up on a hit and run going to second. It's that type of baseball that Ron Gardenhire needs to do more of, to be like, tell the guys, look, if you guys see a bunt situation and you guys are looking around and you see the third baseman or the first baseman playing way off and you have an opportunity to bunt the ball. And maybe do a hit and run sign every once in a while. Maybe to try to, and a hitter's count, do a hit and run. Try to swing the bat. It's those kind of things that are going to make a bad team, a really bad team like the Tigers, maybe not finish in last place. Maybe finish, instead of being, I don't even know how many games out of 500 they are, or even out of the first place they are. It's going to make a bad team like the Tigers a little bit better to watch and a little bit more fun to watch, and to try to sit here and kind of swinging at bad pitches, which they still have to do that as well. But swinging at bad pitches, getting the pitching right, getting the defense to play fundamental baseball on defense. It's those sort of things that are going to really help the Tigers. And bringing up these kids like Jake Rogers to kind of get these guys up, kind of see what they can do, and put them into Major League Baseball and put them in a situation to see if they fail or they survive. That's kind of more or less what it is when you're the Tigers right now. You got to evaluate players, and I feel real bad for Ron Gardenhire as well. The guy shouldn't be in this situation as it is, but I mean, he knew what kind of situation he was coming into. If the Tigers kind of, within a couple of years that they're still like they are right now, then the Tigers really haven't done much. Avila or Chris Illich hasn't done much, and he ended up firing Gardenhire with essentially, I'm not going to say necessarily the same team, but different players, but the same outcome over and over and over again, in the same kind of coaching staff. I mean, do you blame Gardenhire here, or do you say, look, I haven't got the players in because the management hasn't gotten anyone that I can get some talent on here to start winning some baseball games? It's kind of more or less what it boils down to. But guys, I'm almost here at my destination. I'm in Mason. I'm headed to Bad Brewing for Bad Comedy Night, and I got to get some. On top of it, I got to get some gas here, which I'm pulling into the gas station right now. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Please consider hitting that subscribe button, and make sure you guys hit that bell notification so you guys get more videos just like this one. All right, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hope to see you guys again soon. Take care, guys. I'm trying to find a pump here.